In a classroom, teachers will have students that are different in every way. While one method of teaching will work for the majority of the class, others may be confused or take longer to understand the concept. Teachers should use differentiated instruction to accommodate for these students. The question is, what is differentiated instruction? So, differentiated instruction is effective instruction that is responsive to the learning preferences, interests, and readiness of individual learners. Differentiated instruction is best thought of as an organizing structure or framework for thinking about teaching and learning. For example, we can look at Mr. Scott's classroom. Mr. Scott wants to do a lesson for his first graders called Scavenger Hunt for Wood. He will put together a list of items that the students will walk around the classroom and look at and decide whether or not it is wood or it is not. And they will either put a check mark or an X indicating if the object is of wood. For preparing for the lesson, he will first have to look at the accommodations that may or may not be needed for his students with disabilities. His students with disabilities are Lucy, Julia, and Bradley. Lucy, Julia, and Bradley all have a 504 or an IEP plan. Based on that 504 IEP plan, Mr. Scott can look at that and be able to justify, maybe to make some accommodations to his classroom. The 504 and IEP plans are created by a team of experts that uses responses to intervention that really allows them to structure the children and accommodate for their needs in different tiers. When looking at Lucy's 504 plan states that an IEP states that it needs clear instruction, breaks between activities that require sitting and listening, structures for positive interactions with peers, and her preferred learning style is she enjoys physical activity and hands-on learning. This is great for her learning style because this is a hands-on activity. To incorporate clear rules, Mr. Scott can write on the board and state each direction and what to do and when to do it. He will also have the checklist as well, so she can refer back to there in a larger font if need be. For Julia has intellectual disability. She has request help when needed, initiate social reaction, and she prefers collaborative learning. Throughout the whole entire lesson, Mr. Scott can make sure that it is always a social interaction between the students so they can compare and contrast the results and kind of get an idea of what each student is thinking of and what they agree on is wood or not wood. For Bradley has OI. He has an orthopedic impairment. In this case, he has bone tuberculosis. And he has a hard time getting around. He especially likes to have hands-on learning experiences, and his needs are help when needed and more time for motor skills and activities. For when preparing for this lesson, Mr. Scott needs to keep in mind if his classroom isn't already designed for Mr. Bradley, that he will have directional movement through the classroom, so everyone's going in one way at one time together, so there's no bumping into each other, and that there's enough space in between chairs and desks for Bradley to get to. When accommodating each of these students, Mr. Scott can make sure that his class will provide a happy and safe, friendly classroom for all.